Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week we're going to talk about RPGs and the grinding that ensues from needing that sweet EXP. We're going to talk about the update that Valve put out pertaining to AI tools and development and much more. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and jump in and see what everybody's been playing. How are you, sir, and what have you been playing?
Very good, sir. Thank you for asking. I've been playing the same I've been playing last week. That's Kingdoms of the Dump. Apparently, there was an Act 4, so it's been longer than I expected. um, but yeah, I mean, I've made good progress. I'm pretty much near the end. I think I just have to do the final boss, but of course, in true RPG fashion, they then give you all like a shit ton of side quests. Like, oh yeah, remember that thing I talked about? Like, oh yeah, can you do me a favor? And so all your party members are just basically sending you in errands across the world. But luckily, they did give me the airship, so I can just travel whatever I want. Um, it is, yeah, like I said last week, it's really fun. It really has that classic RPG feel, with sort of the twist that it has this junkyard garbage team, which works really well with creative enemies, with creative attacks, a lot of puns, of course. Like somebody getting reborn is, oh, they got recycled. Oh no, like it's just
Yeah,
incredibly tongue cheek, and I just love it. Um,
that's awesome.
yeah, and yeah, yeah. Only thing is like they're because their guides are a bit lacking in terms of of completion. So I'm kind of struggling with a few side quests where it's just yeah, they're sort of like cryptic, saying, "Okay, yeah, you need to go somewhere there in that direction," and I'm kind of trying to figure out, okay, where do you want me to go? Where is that letter I have to deliver? Where is that? Because like it's a location that I can't access anymore. So how am I supposed to deliver it? So I'm kind
Yeah,
of trying to figure out how that works, which gives me, yeah, basically forced me to spend a bit more time than I probably should have if I knew exactly where I had to go. Um, but yeah, other than that, like there's very little to complain about. I think I had like maybe a few times where the game crashed, but immediately when you restart, yeah, I mean it works fine. I guess there is probably it's probably a good thing that I try to save as much as possible, because I had one time where the game crashed right before I was supposed to fight a boss, and I had to do a lot of stuff again because there was no save point in front of the boss, but there was a shortcut back to the entrance, but I didn't take it because I figured, like, I don't know, like it's probably for once I'm finished with the boss, and yeah, and then crash and had to do that part all over again. So the second time I did, I immediately went back to the exit, and like, okay, let's save there. I'm gonna fight the boss, and fortunately nothing happened. So yeah, but again, like I absolutely love it. It's an absolute love. Yeah, so much love to the genre, to classic RPGs. It's really an ode to as much as Claire Obscura sort of an ode to classic Final Fantasy games, like how we would want him to be. Now this is also an ode to the classic SNES RPG turn-based RPGs. And yeah, I mean, again, if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend it. I hope it's coming to console at some point, because now it's relegated to PC. Works perfectly well on the Steam Deck. Another reason to get a Steam Deck, I suppose, Morgan. But yeah,
Yeah.
if it comes to console, definitely buy it, because it's absolutely blast to play. Yeah, so that's what I'm playing.
no, I agree. Morgan has a funny story about the Steam Deck from this week too.
Ooh, ooh.
It's not funny for me. But...
Yeah, it's not funny for her.
Oh, damn.
But she has a Steam Deck in the house now. It's just yeah, it's just not hers.
Yeah, my sister, she approached me. It's just like, guess what I bought? I was like, what? She was like, oh, yeah. So I was doing some research. I think the Steam Deck would be perfect for me. And I was like, she's like, yeah. I went ahead and got the Steam Deck OLED, the 1 TB one. I was like, you know what? I hate you. That's cool. That's fine. My sister. It's like, I swear, every time I'm in the market to buy something, she's like I didn't even talk to her about it. So it's just like she always knows. She always starts buying crap before I do. It's hilarious. But she got it because she wanted to play like Crusader Kings or something. And she's like an Xbox girl. Like she's a big fan of xCloud. Like she just plays on her laptop all day. Like that's where she games. So she's I guess, sort of in the handheld market. She doesn't really care for consoles like that. She will when it comes to like GTA 6, obviously, because that's the only place you can really play it. But yeah, like, so she was just like, yeah, I want the Steam Deck because she wants to play quite a few PC games. She likes the sim style games that are prevalent on PC. So yeah, I guess I'll see. I guess she said I could try it out, so I guess I'll be able to see if I like it from hers. I guess that'll be good hand-on experience.
I was gonna say that's the good part about it is you can have 2 profiles on it really easily. So like when she's not messing with it, you could easily just swap to your profile and then just continue right where you left off.
I was telling Nate, like, the good thing about my sister is that she kind of tires of things very quickly. Like, she likes to try things, but then she kind of gets over it. So to be honest, I'm kind of hoping that she just doesn't like the Steam Deck, or is just kind of like, I'll go back to my laptop. And then, because she said, if I don't like it, I'll give it to you. I was like, oh, okay, cool, bet. So I'm just kind of like in the corner, like, still like the Steam Deck, or like, what's going on with that?
Morgan in the corner waiting, my precious.
I'm the creeper behind the door, just looking like, huh? But
you gonna eat your cornbread?
Basically. But yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh no, it was done. So
yeah, no, he was done. I was just setting you up for the Steam Deck, story, and then what you're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, but for this week, I've been playing, what I've always been playing, Octopath Traveler 0. It's fantastic. I'm feeling like I'm getting towards the end now. Like I've got like I think 125, something like that, hours into the game now. I'm kind of like at that point where, I have the feeling that I'm at the end of the game. And when I feel like I'm at the end of the game of a game that I really enjoy, I start bullshitting. Like I'll start like doing side stuff that isn't necessary, or I'm like, oh, let me go do this battle over here, or oh wait, there's some extra little crap I can do over here that isn't even necessary, because I'm like dreading the end of the game. I don't want it to end.
You start because once you beat it.
I was the only one doing that. Interesting. Okay, yeah. So I'm not the only person that does that.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but I'm just basically like kind of clearing the map right now, where there's some larger monsters in certain areas that I can clear. I'm like, oh, let me do that real quick, knowing damn well I need to get back to this mission, because I think the way it's set up is like there's 3 main missions per act in the game, and this is like the 3rd main mission in the last act, I believe. Obviously, I don't know if this is the last act, but it feels like the last act. So I'm like, I don't want to do this mission. But yeah, it's been great so far. If you haven't gotten that from my impression, it's fantastic. I'm really loving it. I was telling the guys earlier how I was facing a battle where it really put me to the test. I had to kind of rearrange my party, had to equip them with some new skills in order to beat this character. And this wasn't even like a boss. It was just somebody I could recruit onto my team. And yeah, she kicked my ass a couple times. It got to the point where I basically was happy that I had a bunch of what do you call them? The revive olives. Like I had to revive my teammates that, she basically one shot and killed. Like, I'm not even joking, probably like 45 times. Like, she kept one shot my
And
team, and I was just like, no, no. And I kept having to
and
revive. And
this is
good.
why you don't use your items. You store them for
Yeah.
a rainy
I mean,
day. Always.
I got a bunch of money, so I just been like buying out the shops because like there's a way to like farm and get a bunch of money in this game. So like I just been like getting like 100 of each stuff. Um, but yeah, I basically used up my whole inventory trying to fight her. And it's like, damn, once I thought I got a grip on it, she would one shot and kill half of my party, and I'm like, fuck. And I almost thought I was at the end where, everybody had like 10 health, and I was like, oh man, one more hit and I'm gonna have to start over. But I hit her, and she only had like a little bit of health left, apparently, because you really can't tell how much health a character has or an enemy has in Octopath unless you use a certain skill to reveal it. So I didn't know how much health she had left, and I just hit her and she died. I was like, oh my god, that it was. But that's why I love the game, because it really makes you think. You really have to strategize. You really have to use every member of your team, and not just the members, but you have to use all of their skills to, get these enemies down. So I enjoyed it. It was really good. But yeah, that's really what I've been playing. I think I'm gonna finish probably before the next show. I say that, but who knows?
Yeah,
But
just
then,
the game that
you
keeps
know,
on giving.
the game that keeps on giving. And then I gotta start, focusing on the 2026 games. So I don't really know what I'm gonna do after this. Uh, but yeah, this is a fantastic 10 out of 10 thus far on Octopath Traveler Zero. If you like JRPGs, turn-based JRPGs, I highly recommend this game. Fantastic.
Yeah, Viper said in the chat, he says, "Oh, it's what that one fight you save all your items for."
Yeah. Yeah.
That running joke,
I was like,
how you never want to use your
oh.
items.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm the same way. I think all RPG fans are the same way, right? You hoard a bunch of items that you really never use because you got to save them for that just in case. And this was that just in case battle, and I was like, oh shit! Like I kept having to use it, and every time I used it, she would kill him again. Like, yeah, revive that bitch again. I'm gonna kill him again. I'm like,
that is so annoying in Octopath Zero, man. Yo, so many times when they knock somebody out and you revive them just for them to
like,
knock
yeah.
the next person
I
out,
think
I'd be like,
they're
bruh.
like cats, man. They're like they just like to toy with me. Like, yeah, go ahead, revive her again. I'm just gonna kill her again. Like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, that's what I said at one point. I was asking you at one point. I was like, "Are you not getting hit like super hard?" Like I feel like my weapons are constantly progressing, but my defense is like I'm like, bro, why do I get hit so hard? Like, what the heck is going on?
My defense is pretty good. Are you making sure to equip like the best
I
armor
mean,
and
yeah, the
stuff?
best I can get in the area, but I mean,
Yeah.
the map ain't but so big. You know what I mean? Once you hit Grand Point or whatever it is, like it's not too much else you could get unless you're doing special equipment from like certain
Yeah.
dungeons and stuff like that, or like you have the battle tested weapons. But I'm like, man, where's the battle tested armor? Like they're hitting a little too hard. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's what's up. Uh, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Yeah, so what have I been playing? Where the winds meet. So I legit downloaded last week after the show just to try it out to see what the fuss is about. Oh no, mid show. And I dropped it, but later on I picked it up. And dude, the combat is addictive. It's legit phenomenal combat. The difficulty is uh, Souls difficulty, but less, if that makes sense. There are certain bosses that are difficult. What I love about it is everything wi- pay. It's not pay to win. You legit can do everything without paying a single dollar, which that's what I'm gonna do. I'm level 50 something right now, 55. Um, I'm just so in love with the combat. The versatile, the weapons that you can use, the skills, the builds that you can have. The one thing that I would say that you need to pay attention to is make sure you pick up your reward because they gone, sadly. But yeah, so the story I don't care for. I'm skipping it. So because of that, I wanted to play something like this. I'm buying tomorrow Black Myth Wukong. I missed out on this game. A few of us here played it, and I want to see what the fuss is about. But I want to actually care about the story. And from what I've seen from the combat from Wukong, it's gonna be like where the wind meets. It's gonna be phenomenal, and I can't wait for tomorrow. But yeah, that's about it for me. Just one single game eating my life. Oh, and I've been watching series. That's it.
Cool. Yeah. As for me, pretty much the same thing. You can always tell like the beginning of the year versus the end of the year when we're all playing like 15 different things, trying to finish things up. Like this year hasn't really gotten cranking yet. Thankfully, actually, because like as you can see, most of us are playing stuff that came out last year. And trying to finish these things up and whatnot. I myself am also still working on Octopath. I did take a break from it for quite a bit because the game was starting to get on my nerves. Um, the I got to the point where, kind of like Morgan was saying, she had to switch up her party, and then I'm missing certain things I was trying to do, following certain advice, certain guides and stuff. I need certain characters, and one of the characters, nothing pisses me off in a game more than something I need being so far into the game that I feel like I'm at the end of the game by the time I get it. Like that annoys me to no end. So when I figured out one of the main characters I was being told to use for obvious reasons, like when you understand some of his inherent skills he comes with, being able to act first and kind of do a bunch of other stuff, and kind of helping reformulate that party into late game status and letting you kind of get in a place where you can do your debuffs and get everything really situated, so you can work on some of these harder enemies like Morgan was running into. So yeah, I took a break after I got past like the fate credits, I guess is what you call it in Octopath, and then I recruited a couple more people, and then I started kind of switching up the party and getting some of these skills mastered and really start switching things up for late game so I could start doing the damage I really need to do. But yeah, I ended up picking up a few things. So I picked up RoboCop Unfinished Business because I really liked the original part to that game. So the first part, this is basically a standalone expansion for the other RoboCop game that came out. So I didn't really get cracking on it, but I did go ahead and pick it up because I knew I really wanted to play it. Nice to return to that world and jump back in. And then Pirate Yakuza was on sale, the deluxe edition specifically. So I picked that up as well. And I actually started that, funny enough. And now, yeah, I did a lot more than start that. So now I'm like, my entire team on my boat is all S rank. And now I'm fighting like late game stuff. So I got pretty deep into Pirate Yakuza once I got really started. And the beginning was kind of slow. It was like, that was killing me because I was just ready to get to the ship and start shooting stuff. But once I got to that point, it started moving pretty quickly. So I've been working my way through Pirate Yakuza. In the meantime, while I've been taking a break from Octopath, it's definitely time to get back into Octopath. I think I still have like three or four chapters in Pirate Yakuza left, because I was focusing on doing like all the side stuff. Like I was making sure I had all the relics type stuff, and a bunch of the treasures and all that nature. So it's been a lot of fun, and souping at my ship and customizing it. Like I said, I was waiting specifically for that version, because they always have a bunch of additives, and I don't like to miss anything. Y'all know how I am when it comes to games that have like add-ons and stuff. Like I don't want to miss nothing. So I had to get the one that included everything. But yeah, I'm really enjoying that. It's been a lot of fun. Put a lot of time into it so far, for only getting it a couple days ago. Yeah, it's been something fun and hard to pull myself away from, which is good. It's been a while since I really jumped into a Yakuza game. The last one was Like a Dragon, the number 7 or whatever before, and then I also bought Infinite Wealth. But even though I started Infinite Wealth, like I didn't really get all that far. It's just like I wasn't in the right frame to really start that, and like there's a ton of side stuff in those games. If anybody has played them, like you kind of know and you kind of get what's going on. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Honestly, I don't really know 2026. Like we know there's a lot of stuff coming. We're all kind of anticipating a lot of the same games. But I know probably Weeb will probably be the first person to get something, because I'm pretty sure his games are coming up first, with like Romeo as Dead Man and stuff like that.
Yeah, mine comes literally in 4 days, which is in Metrovania. I'm absolutely.
I'm talking about AAA titles, sir, that we're actually anticipating.
Okay, yeah, no, it's Dead Man.
Yeah. Not random games from 2026.
Hey.
Yeah. Talking about major releases, sir. Yeah, so I think that's probably going to be the first one that really drops from what I can remember. I have to remember, like, there's so many games coming with like release dates that have only just been announced. So
West 7 Rematch is dropping first.
Well, no, but that's what I was saying. Whatever it is, you're going to be the first.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're probably going to be. I was like, I know you had enough stuff early on that you were probably going to be the first person to pick something up. So I was like, yeah. But yeah, between Dragon Quest and Romeo's Dead Man and stuff like that. And then I know a bunch of people who are excited for Trails. Trails Beyond just came out, so anybody that was picking that up was excited. I have the first game. I have not finished it yet, so yeah, I will not be going anywhere near, obviously, the sequel to a game I have not finished. But yeah, that was like the really, really big like first drop. And of course, we're all looking forward to Pragmata, and then Resident Evil 9 Requiem, of course, just got shown, which is one of the topics we're going to talk about now, since we got to see quite a bit more of it at the reveal, and that is a perfect segue, and we will go right into that. So Capcom, earlier this week, they had a small event for about 15 minutes or so, updating and kind of talking about Resident Evil 9, really kind of showing Leon and his gameplay and how it differs from playing the girl. They're quite a bit different. Obviously, she's, like super scared and, kind of frail. They showed in their particular playthrough, they were playing them, obviously in like entirely different. So you can flip between first person and third person for either character. So what they were doing, they were playing Leon in third and playing the girl in first, trying to give it that more, kind of horror aspect. And she was kind of sneaking around and showing off the gameplay with her. She's more subtle, trying to sneak. She's obviously not as powerful. So she was just kind of trying to creep around and not get into as much confrontations, but then showing, she does eventually, I guess, get a hold of this crazy weapon that is obviously only like video game level, where it literally like she shot it and it went through 2 enemies.
Fucking Desert Eagle.
Yeah, that thing that my friend famously told me one time he needs a weapon. He said he needs something for home defense that goes in like a nickel and comes out like a cash register. I was like, yeah, that's that gun. Like that gun literally just disintegrated and ripped them apart. It was crazy to watch. The game just looks incredible. I don't know what they showed it on. I thought it was PC, but somebody said they were pretty sure they saw during the presentation that it was PS5, which wouldn't surprise me.
No, it's PC. I watched the button. I saw PC button.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I didn't see it, but yeah, like I said, I'm sure the game's gonna look good regardless. Like the RE engine when it comes to enclosed spaces and stuff like that. Like, I mean, it's really an incredibly well done system specifically for Resident Evil. Obviously we've seen it kind of struggle on things like Dragon's Dogma and so on and so forth, but it's looking really, really good for Resident Evil 9. Probably something I'm definitely going to play. I don't know if it'll be day one specifically, but I'm definitely looking forward to picking it up. I'll probably end up playing it on PC myself. Largely, I mean, it's also mainly just performance, but also because, it's got a ton of particular PC only title things, path tracing and a bunch of other stuff. So, give me a chance to utilize the PC like I really want to. But yeah, Morgan, how were your impressions after checking out the Resident Evil 9? I know you particularly said you're probably not picking it up, but what did you think of it? How did it look? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, it's a no for me, but I mean, I'm always impressed by Resident Evil and Capcom's ability to really up the factor on their like graphics and the RE engine itself it's a very good engine. It's not really much I can say in negative of that engine from what I've seen, especially since like Resident Evil 7. They've kind of just been upping the bar for every Resident Evil since then. And I do like the aspect that for Resident Evil 9, they're going to be kind of switching between 2 different play styles of, one's more stealth and scared focused. The girl, she's going to be more like not really going, full throttle with the combat, right? She's just going to be trying to like lurk through and get by, which makes sense to her character because she's not really a fighter, right? This is frightening for her. She doesn't really know what's going on. And then, switching to Leon, obviously he is older now. He's more experienced. He's been through this shit for years at this point.
My man,
right?
season. For him. He already sees this all at this point. You know what I'm saying? He know everything.
Yeah, he's not that little naive boy walking into the police station anymore. He looks gristled. He looks hard. He looks like, he's seen things.
I mean, my man walked up out of the porch like it was just another Tuesday. Like he was just completely unconcerned.
I mean, it is for him. He was like, okay, well, here we go with this bullshit again. All right. And it's just, it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between the two. Like him just being like, I don't know if they're ever going, like, I'm sure they're going to meet at some point. And I'm sure she's probably going to have questions for him. He's just going to be like, man, whatever. Like, he just looks like he's kind of over it at this point.
He really does.
But I think it's cool that they have like that version of Leon, right? He's not that pretty boy anymore. He's that older gristled guy now. And yeah, the fact that you'll be able to, when you're playing as him, to kind of like fix your weapon on the spot instead of having to go to like a room to fix it. And his combat looks amazing. Like it, like if I wasn't such a scaredy cat, I would definitely pick up this game. It's a fantastic looking game, and I'm definitely gonna watch somebody stream it, but I'm just not gonna be playing itself. Like as soon as I saw that giant slug looking thing, like they always do that in Resident Evil, where they have this like one monster that just kind of follows you everywhere. And as soon as they showed it, I was just like, nah, I'm good on that. I'm not built for that. I'll watch somebody else have to go through that and let them have the anxiety while I just watch them play. But yeah, it looks really good. I can't wait to see where the story leads for this one. Hopefully, we'll be getting a Resident Evil 5 remake because then I'll definitely play. But yeah, for now, Resident Evil 9 does look really good, and I'm excited to watch somebody else play it.
Okay. Weep, what about you? Are you interested?
Yeah, I'm probably kind of with Morgan. I'm not that interested in the newer Resident Evil, or rather the non-remake ones. Though I'd say I'm a bit more interested after this gameplay showcase because I do like my third-person Resident Evil games. And the fact that you can play as it, but also that Leon's part of the gameplay is more like like Resident Evil 4 or maybe 2 remake does definitely pique my interest. So yeah, I'll wait and see though. Again, like I'm not the hugest fan of sort of the direction they've taken aside from the first person perspective. It's sort of like it's sort of like going like what can you do beyond what you've already done, right? Like the zombies, have the tyrants, and now we're gonna make another virus, and it's gonna be variations of the things we've seen already, or just creepier enemies, stuff like that. So yeah, I know. Though it is interesting that they're well, I'm not sure how much it makes a difference for the gameplay, but the zombies will sort of keep doing the stuff they were doing when were still alive.
Yeah.
Which also gives you kind of Resident Evil 4 vibes, obviously, because they're the zombies, the infected, parasites, the Gonadas, right there. They were basically also doing, daily things. They're tending their farms, stuff like that. So that's sort of I guess a throwback to that. But these are sort of smaller things that, might make the difference for me to be interested. But it's not high on my list because there's so much else coming out this year. I want to play like Nate said, like next month for me it's going to be crazy busy. Like I really have to figure out how to balance these games, and I mean I'll probably be good for Q1 and probably beyond that, just with those games. So yeah, but again, like was a good showcase. At least the first part of it. Like everything after that was like, dude, really? Like okay, you have a deal with Porsche. You have the watch. Then that dumbass from Nvidia shows up. Come on, man. So yeah, it was kind of a waste. But the first half or the first 50 minutes or whatever, they were pretty interesting. So yeah, not my highest priority, but maybe somewhere down the line. But yeah, I mean, I also still have to finish for remake, so it's I mean, Resident Evil is probably going to be a bit low on my list, or at least somewhere in my backlog before I'll get to it.
Understandable. Yeah, I haven't finished a Resident Evil game in a minute. Like you said, I started 4. I've started 7. I don't know. Like you said, I haven't. The last time like Resident Evil was like a super priority for me was like Resident Evil 1 and 2. Like back then is like when I was really into it. Like I don't dislike them now. They're not, like I said, they're not my primary, and it's like anything else that comes out, that I'm already looking forward to is probably gonna take precedent or priority over it. Largely because like honestly, like it also Resident Evil also incorporates some things that I've slowly really started to dislike over time. like more and more. One of the main things that um, anybody who has known me long enough knows that I can't stand uh, mechanics in a game that are meant to slow you down. So like overly complicated puzzles, things that are just the Resident Evil thing. Find these two rubies that go in this statue in the corner, and then also like Morgan was stating,
Yeah, the
the
Resident Evil
enemy,
staple. I get it.
yeah, the enemy that always is chasing you. On top of that, like I'm not a fan of that mechanic. A lot of people are like really love that mechanic, but like Mr. X drives me crazy. Like I literally play the game to not be able to, like I can't wait to get to the part where I could permanently kill him. Like I hate that. But again, I know they're trying to, that's their version of trying to create like, that artificial tension and things of that nature. But yeah, like I said, it looks really good, but we'll see what's going on. Omar, how did you feel after seeing that? You seem pretty excited about it after, so.
Yeah, we watched it live. I've been in a minute that I played Resident Evil. I'm not counting 7. Uh, what I love about it is how that now you have stealth. You can stealth with Leon. So to me, that's phenomenal. Another thing is, yeah, she is a
Omar, sorry, but what, you couldn't do stealth before? What are you talking about?
not to such degree now. You can literally still kill uh, zombies, and other zombies don't pay attention.
Yeah, but you could do that too, I think, in previous games.
I don't recall, but in any
Yeah,
case,
anyway,
I do
continue.
love that they introduced a lot of new mechanic. The with the lady now you can harvest their blood to survive on it. Like, yeah, that's cool. I love how it incites you to fight enemies instead of running away from them if you want health. Another thing is, um, yeah, the woman is gonna be the slow part section, which it felt a lot like Outlast. I think they're trying to give you the pulse of the world, like they want to make it actiony, which is why you have Leon, and then you have as a scary cat. Visuals, the game look phenomenal. Um, I don't recall anything of them that doesn't look good on the RE engine. Um, Welcome to the gameplay. Yeah, a lot of improvement, and yeah, I'm curious who's gonna buy that watch. Cause they introduced 2 models. If you care to buy, I'm like, okay, you do you buy them. But all by all, it was a phenomenal showcase. I love how they went in quickly. They didn't beat around the bush. They didn't waste our time. And will I be playing it day one? I wanted to, but after hearing Weeb next month it's gonna be crazy. Cause me and him we are on the same page. Will come to next month. I'm gonna wait and see what comes out next month and see
Wait, you
what I'm
you and
playing.
Weeb are on the same page next month?
Uh, for the Romeo game, yeah. But
Okay,
I
so
don't know if other games
you meant
coming
for a
out.
single game, because I was like, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, all by all, it was.
Yeah,
I can't uh, recommend what you call it, Capcom for doing such a quick mini showcase and present their game and the best of light. You don't need a long showcase. Just do what Capcom did.
cool.
I'm done.
That's what's up. But yeah, like I said, I think everybody, like I said, enjoyed the show. It was short, to the point. I definitely saw some things going on uh, that a lot of people really liked from the show after it was done. a lot of Resident Evil fans are excited, and that's the important thing. They're really catering to the fans, and I feel like this next one's going to be really good. So it'll be interesting to see how it does. It's definitely coming out in a fairly solid time frame before, like I said, a lot of the other games start really cracking. But that's about the time frame, like I said, late February, where we're definitely going to start getting way more games. So yeah, I can't wait. So one question came up in particular that interested me when looking around and kind of seeing what everybody was talking about. And everybody knows that all of us are real big RPG fans here. I know a lot of you guys that watch the show are as well. So there was a topic that came up on Twitter in particularly, where someone stated, they had a bit of an unpopular opinion. I'm going to clarify because, like I said, a lot of people misinterpreted this tweet, which was then reiterated on later to clarify. But the person states, that they're going to say a bit of an unpopular opinion, and they think that farming should be completely eradicated from all of RPGs/JRPGs. Again, I don't know how people misinterpreted this, because then they clarify experience farming was born from technical limitations of old games, and nowadays it's no longer necessary at all and completely breaks the rhythm. So if anybody has played primarily JRPGs, but I've definitely had it where Western RPGs, basically if you don't do side quests and stuff like that, I definitely feel like they do it better. Their balancing is a lot better. But typically, in a lot of these, if you don't do side quests and stuff like that, you can basically be considerably underleveled. So this person is essentially stating, there's no real reason to not give the user enough experience so that they are the appropriate level to, battle through the main story if that's all they specifically want to play. I've had a big issue with this before. Some people will state, that they love it, they love, grinding out that experience. But at the same time, like I said, people will say that, and then YouTube is flooded with, tips and tricks on how to EXP farm a lot faster, right? So it's like, clearly people really don't want to spend, a bunch of time grinding, experience when they want to specifically just kind of get through the main game. Now, the phrasing, obviously, eradicate is kind of where a lot of people got thrown off, thinking they means like your ability to do it should be removed, and that's not the case. What they're just stating is that the necessity of needing to do that in order to be the appropriate level to proceed should not be a factor anymore. And I agree. I think it's a balancing issue. There's no real reason for them not to give you the appropriate level of experience. I was joking with somebody recently when we were talking about how some JRPGs, they like to hold on to, experience like it's the last bastion, I just can't give you all this EXP that you want, and then, there's always, increase EXP, Jade or Amulet or whatever, and other stuff. And it's just like, well, if you just gave me enough to begin with so that I was at least consistently on the level, it wouldn't be so much of an issue. This is something I personally experienced, and I think it's definitely a balancing issue, and something I've said that, at least pertaining specifically to JRPGs, definitely needed some work. I feel like, man, they're just really stingy in some of these games with experience. And I personally always find a way to get even. I'm that person that's looking for the 2 times experience, stuff like that. Again, I don't got time to waste. I'm trying to get through the story. These games are already 80 plus hours long. I don't want to be held up by something stupid like experience. Now, obviously, if I want to be stronger, I want to be over leveled, then yeah, I want the ability to be able to do that. So being able to do it, I think, is always should be an option, to be able to be stronger, to be able to, do a bunch of side quests and go crazy, or, farm to your heart's content, nothing wrong with that personally, but I agree with this person in the fact that the need should not be there, right? Some games you you've played, and you don't really need to do that, and it just feels good. You can just kind of go with the flow and just kind of go through it. In recent memory, I think a lot of people I saw did this with Expedition 33. They just kind of played the main story through, and then finished the game. And it's not really too hard to do that. They give you, a decent amount of experience. I think you're going to be a little low by the time you get to like the main boss, personally, but it's still perfectly doable. You're just a little low at most. You're obviously not going to be equipped as well and stuff like that, so that's another issue. So if you're going to play a JRPG straight through, or an RPG in general straight through, without really going to get a lot of the side content and stuff, well, that's a you issue in how you chose to play the game, right? So I don't begrudge people for that. I don't begrudge the game for that. Like, if you don't want to go out and look for specific weapons and things of that nature to make sure your team is equipped appropriately, as well as you just want to play through the main, then yeah, you're essentially choosing your own difficulty when you choose to do things like that. So yeah, definitely no issues with that. But yeah, like I said, the game should never be feel undoable or unplayable if you don't basically farm in order to be on the level for those specific quests, as far as the mainline quests and getting through the game. Now, I'm going to start with you on this one, Morgan. You have played a significant amount of RPGs over the last few years. You've played some Western ones. One of your favorite games, last year was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, which is, more realistic and stuff in that nature. And then you've obviously been playing the Octopath series, and a couple other titles like Sea of Stars. How do you feel this balances out for you in your experience? Is this something that you find you're running into often, where you feel like they're constantly limiting you, or you only notice on one thing like JRPGs, or where is it balancing out for you?
Yeah, I seem to really only see this issue, if you want to call it an issue, with JRPGs particularly. I didn't really run into this problem with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because the experience you get experience through actually doing everything. So it's if you want to get better at archery, then obviously you have to do archery, right? And when you're doing the archery, it's not necessarily grinding, because you're doing the things that you needed to do anyway, right? So it's you're fighting in a battle that is part of the main story, and you're gaining experience through that, because that's the particular weapon that you're using. Or if you want to get better at farming, you got to do literal farming, then you have to do some more farming. Alchemy was my thing in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and I like doing it because obviously I need healing items and boosts that come with alchemy, but also I can sell the potions that I make to shopkeeps and get money. And the more I did alchemy, the better I got at it, right? So it was like a give and take. I earned stuff through it. But yeah, JRPGs, because right now, even in Octopath, I'm grinding to level up my character. And honestly, I really don't mind grinding. I think it just depends on the game and the gameplay loop for me. If I enjoy the gameplay, then I'm not going to be upset with the grinding. And I enjoy the gameplay in Octopath Traveler Zero, so I can spend 3 hours. I can dedicate a play session for me. This is just my personal feelings. I can dedicate a play session to just grinding, right? I can spend 3 or 4 hours just doing battles just to level up my character, because I enjoy the battle loop of Octopath, and I can just listen to a podcast in the background or do whatever, and it's not an issue for me. But obviously, if the gameplay isn't fun, then the grinding really isn't going to be fun. But I do think it should be something that's optional in a game. I did experience a JRPG like game. It was called I talked about it a few months ago that I was playing. It was called Demon School, and Nate's played that too. And in Demon School, there isn't any grinding. It's a tactics based RPG. So there's like, and in this game, there's no grinding. Like the experience that you get is through the progression of the game. Like you get it from earning, essentially like you're in a college and you get progression from earning class credits like during the battles. Like every battle you win, you get class credits that improve all of your skills, right? All of your strength, your defense, everything. It just improves as you play. And there's no in the game there isn't any like random encounters like you experience with Octopath Traveler Zero, right? Like with Octopath Traveler Zero, you're walking along the grass and it's got that Pokemon style thing where, oh no, an encounter, you know, and there's random
Yeah.
battles that you can run into. But in Demon School, every battle is a part of the main story. There's no extra side battles. There's no, oh, you can come over here and fight this person. Like no, every battle that you have is a part of the main story. There's no side quests. It's a very kind of linear experience. So there's no grinding in the game. Everything you level up as you progress through the story. And it was very different for me, at least when experiencing a turn-based game. And I enjoyed that aspect of it. I was like, oh, okay, so I'm not gonna have to, sit here and play for 6 hours to get my character to level 35. It's just you level up as you go, right? I think that's something that I agree with the initial poster of this. When he asked the question, should that still be implemented? I think it should be optional, right? It should.
Yeah. So
But I
optional, not
think,
required.
yeah, not required. Yeah. But I think it's just so ingrained with a lot of JRPG fans because, that's the style of gameplay loop that they grew up on, right? So it's like a part of what makes a JRPG. So they kind of feel like they get kind of defensive when you bring up taking it out. They're like, no, that's what makes JRPGs good. You got to grind. That you got to if you
Oh
want to be
yeah.
the best, you gotta work for it, right?
Yeah, I mean
And like
they
I
went
get,
they went crazy on that tweet.
yeah,
Like
I
you would have
mean,
thought you called their mother the worst name, like by the way that they
I've
responded to
I've
that.
learned from my short amount of time in the JRPG space that JRPG fans get very they get a little tight in the pants when you kind of try to change anything that has been established with JRPGs, regardless of whether it's good or bad. They're like, no, that's a staple. Don't change that. Like they just don't really like change, and I think that's also kind of why they got upset with the uh, skyrocketing popularity of Expedition 33. um, it's not Japanese and it's not one of the established tentpoles of
Mm-hmm.
turn-based games, and so for it to skyrocket in popularity and become, I guess, kind of the poster child for turn-based RPGs, it rubbed them the wrong way. But that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, it seems change isn't a welcome thing in the JRPG community.
You're noticing that,
Um,
huh?
Yeah, and it's gonna take one of the tentpole, I believe, one of the tentpole titles to actually implement that for them to accept it. Um, like it'll have to be like a Final Fantasy or like a Dragon Quest or something like that that implements the no need for XP grinding for it to be probably accepted in the community. But I have played JRPGs where I didn't really necessarily like the grinding, and
Mm-hmm.
it was due to like the gameplay loop. I just was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to spend like an hour getting myself up to like, just to get up 2 or 3 levels, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel just kind of weird trying to ask for things to be implemented because I haven't been in the community long enough to be like, yeah, yeah, get rid of that. I don't like coming into spaces and being like, yeah, you should change that because that's what I like. I don't know. Um, but I think if they make it optional, I think it will be fine for everybody. Like the people who want to grind, they can grind, they can maybe progress faster. And then the people who don't want to grind, they can level up just enough to like get them through the story or the main mission and stuff and be fine. You know, I think there's a balance act to be had with when it comes to grinding. But I think that I'm sure the devs, obviously, because they made the games, they're aware that, you know, grinding was something done because of, you know, technical limitations. But I think they realize the community really, or I don't know, maybe enjoys it, but or they just kind of put up with it, and it's just kind of what, you know, it's just kind of what is to be expected in a JRPG. So they just kind of
Yeah.
like leave it there, like, oh, you know, people grind. That's kind of what JRPGs do. So let's just, you know, that's just one of the staples. Let's just implement that. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of with the balance act. I don't think it needs to be like taken away, but you know, if it become like something optional to maybe give you like an extra boost, you know, put you over
Yeah.
the edge, then yeah, I think that would be okay.
No, I agree. That's pretty much where I'm at, and I agree with Frost. You know, in the chat, you know, he said he likes when games give you the ability to, you know, if you don't want to, you know, like basically it's more skill based. You know, kind of to what you were saying on the whole thing with the Demon School that we were playing. That one is definitely way more skill based. You know, there's no, like you said, there's no specific experience or something like that. You gain your skills and, you know, become stronger in other ways. And it's purely skill based. So, yeah, I definitely know what he's saying. And I know he is all about the Souls games and stuff where, you know, you can be overpowered if you want and you can go level up. But, you know, a lot of people really like fighting something either on or under leveled and really, you know, showcasing that skill gap difference. But yeah, those are definitely like a different style altogether. So that kind of give you that ability. So I know what he's saying. But yeah, no, I agree with you. That's where I'm at with it. Weeb, how are you feeling about this one as a longtime RPG player as well? Do you feel like it's felt pretty fairly balanced for you? Like it doesn't bother you, or you know, would you prefer that games do better with balancing experience gain in the future, so that the need to grind isn't as much?
Well, I mean, it is not. I don't think it's as black and white or sort of one size fits all. As maybe some think it is, because I haven't experienced it as such that every game that has grind has annoying grind. Like there are cases where it can be annoying. There are cases where it's implemented well. Where like I think a Tales series is an interesting example where the grind generally is not bad because it generally just you have to you suddenly find out you're in an area where enemies are doing too much damage. Then the only thing you have to do, okay, you have to grind like a little bit, like just go around the area. Like it can be like 50 minutes maybe tops, like, and then you grind for 2 levels and suddenly you're uh, uh you know on par with the enemies in that area and you're fine. So you can do that, and that's fun. Like, and that's kind of the thing is like, it's highly depends on what you want to do because, um, while I do appreciate some of the creative solutions where it's like, okay, yeah, you don't really level up by beating enemies, but by doing things. Sure, if that's what the game you want to make, but I would find it annoying if the game essentially is the same as pretty much every other JRPG, and but you can't grind for levels because the game has hidden that behind a different gameplay mechanic. So basically story progression or whatever, and that's kind of the thing is that then it's well, most JRPGs are in a sense still linear because you have like one path that you follow, and often new areas are locked behind story progression, but you still have often freedom because you can just go back to where other areas you can, as we're talking about, grind for more XP, and that's sort of the opposite end of it. That it also gives you the freedom to keep grinding and level beyond what you're supposed to be, in that area and make it easier for you. And yes, there's always the risk that if you're doing all the side content before you fight the final boss is going to be pretty easy because you're way over the level that you're have to be if you just ignored all the side content and just went straight for the boss. And that's fine too, right? I mean, you don't necessarily have to, like, it's maybe a different discussion, but I also hear people complaining about that fact that they're over leveled for the boss and it's too easy because of all the side content. But I don't mind that because that's sort of a reward for you to you were invested in that game all that time to do everything 100% it, and why shouldn't you be rewarded for that by because it kind of also feels kind of fitting, as in narrative wise you didn't just do the bare minimum, you went out of your way to get the best armor and the best weapons and get all your party members with the their best skills or best abilities because you did their personal quest. I mean, yeah, of course, and there are of course choices like a game like Mass Effect 2, where you're not gonna get the best ending if you don't invest time in your party members. Um, so that's another way you could do it, saying, you definitely need to do all the side content, or at least the ones that matter, for your characters to get, the good ending, right? But again, that's also a question of whether or not you should lock that behind, 100%ing, or at least doing more content than was required for the people who just want to, rush through the game and just do the bare minimum. And that's kind of, I mean, that's a choice. Personally, I don't get that, but I can understand some. You have to be sort of careful there because there's also a balance there. You don't want to have people basically, if they make a mistake and they don't complete a particular mission in time and locked out of it because they progress the story too far, that they somehow can get the good ending because they're dependent on a side mission that was like in Act 1 and they're now in Act 4, right? But yeah, I mean, for most games I've played, the grinding wasn't bad. The only game where I recent memory was annoyed was Yakuza Like a Dragon, when they first switched to turn-based mechanics. And not so much for the main game, that was perfectly doable without grinding. But if you want to get the plat and 100% and beat the final secret boss, the grind is crazy. And that's not necessarily because of leveling your character, but because of leveling your jobs. Because it had a job system where you can equip different jobs, and leveling up your jobs will also give you permanent stat boost to certain stats, though that's restricted to certain jobs. So it's not every job does that, but there are some jobs that do that. And you have equipment items that can also raise your job level faster, but they're not available for jobs, and that includes some of the jobs that you need to raise your stats. And you have to do that for 2-3 of them, I think. But the grind is so incredibly slow. Like I've tried, like I think I remember doing this like right before Christmas break, where I was just doing the same dungeon over and over again, and it was like I was doing that for days, and like at some point, like, why am I doing this? Because I would love to have the plat, because I don't think at that point I had a plat for Yakuza game. That obviously changed now since they do have made it a bit more doable. Generally, the problem is that they often require you to be to do all the mini games, and some of them, like mahjong, are just like crazy for me because I'm like I don't know anything about the rules, and I'm about to learn them just to 100% the game.
I
But
agree.
I mean, I you can do that with shogi because there were like apps where you can just say, okay, yeah, I'm just going to mirror whatever the CPU opponent does, and that's generally easy to do. But like with games like that, like they're so predictable. It's not possible to do that, in any simulated fashion. But and I generally suck at karaoke games because timing based games are not my thing. So that generally was also a reason for me to not go for the plat. But yeah, that one did only trophy I still need was just to beat the final boss, the secret boss. So I'm on in the most difficult dungeon where every enemy basically had max level. So you needed to be max level plus half your some of your jobs level up to the max to get those stat boosts. Otherwise, you wouldn't even make it past like the first floor or something. But that was so annoying. Where I'm like, yeah, this wasn't fun anymore because the progression was so slow that I'm like, yeah, I'm wasting so much time here doing nothing productive, at least in terms of getting, seeing something new in the game. And I'm like, I can play other games in this time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I have had that experience, and I do agree that when you're implementing poorly, when it's really annoying and takes a real long time, and it is, locking you out of either story progression, which is obviously the biggest faux pas. But if it's even extra content, yeah, I that was a mistake. And glad they didn't repeat that mistake for the sequel, Infinite Wealth, because that had perfect balance. That there was nowhere at any point where I needed to, excessively grind to get better, to beat tougher foes, whether they're optional or story related. That was absolutely perfectly balanced, and I think clearly a lesson they learned, and I think I agree that should never be an issue. Like the grind, if there's grind, it should not be annoying. You should be able to get past story content in without excessively going out your way. Like I can totally see where you're saying, okay, yeah, if you're like avoiding every fight and then find out that you're basically completely under leveled for boss, yeah, that's on you. Like you,
Agreed.
yeah. I mean, there should be at least some expectation that you're actually playing the game and not just trying to breeze through it, cheese through it, basically in the easiest fashion possible. Yeah, I mean, then you're just gonna have to deal with it, but yeah, I think that's fair. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't mind the grind as long as it's fun, as long as it doesn't feel like you're wasting your time, and it's sort of blocking you from either complete understanding the game or just progressing the story. Yeah, so yeah, I like in the end, like I don't mind grind. I actually enjoy it in the sense that the grind can over level you as well in some cases. Like I had that with I think even like The Witcher 3, which also like I love doing all side content, and in the end, like actual story content was generally easier to do for me because I was generally like higher level. Like I was trying to beat bosses that like were basically could one shot kill me. But like if you're fighting a golem, for example, was you did like shit damage to them, and you were, so it took a while. It was also a grind, but it was doable, and that's kind of like a fun challenge because okay, you're trying to beat something you're not supposed to beat, or at least the game is telling you, yeah, you're not shouldn't supposed to be fighting his opponent, but you can, and if you persist, you can do it, and that's also something that should be possible, and should and that reward is if you're doing all that stuff, you will obviously be a bit more powerful than you're supposed to be, and things will be easier. but yeah, I mean that's if you I can imagine some people don't find it fun, but if you find it fun, like me, like yeah, I should have that option as well. I should not be forced to play it at the difficulty based on my own progression. That is the requirement, right? That is sort of the standard level. Like I should be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor as well in that regard. So
Yeah,
that's
that's
my
a yeah. I was gonna say that's definitely getting into the weeds of balancing and how someone prefers to play if they want to be specifically underleveled, and that goes into that stuff that Omar is always literally complaining about, being able to like turn off experience or something if you specifically want to be underleveled or something all the time or whatever. People creating their own thing, but obviously, like you said, that's going to depend on the game. It's going to be a game by game basis. Everybody's not going to implement that. But yeah, that's definitely a balancing thing, and you got to decide who you want to cater to, or if you want to include the options. But for me, that goes into the thing where I was saying, honestly, I just wish JRPGs in general would just get way more comfortable with accessibility options, being able to just change stuff in the menu, and then let people customize the difficulty the way they want. So, if somebody wants to turn off the XP because they want to be under leveled, cool, let them. Otherwise, let it be balanced. So, because you ultimately can't balance a game for everyone. So, their best bet is to give people the ability to customize it how they want. And then that makes a big difference.
Fair, I do think the Tales games did have. I'm not entirely sure if they. I think some of that is sort of locked behind actually once finishing the game, but I do remember they have a lot of modifiers where you can just make the game more difficult if you want to or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is at least some inkling of that they're already got the idea. It's just that they need to, as you said, be aware. It should not be something you unlock or have to spend bonus points or whatever on, but should just be there in the game from the start, because you want as many people as possible to play your game or be able to play the game. Yeah, and it's sort of like, I don't know, a pride thing or whatever. Or I think for the most part, it's probably something that just they're used to, like this, like the thing with the shimmying or through a narrow passage, right?
Yeah.
To transition to another area, which was just initially to hide loading screens, and now that we have SSDs, it's no longer necessary, but they're still doing
They
it.
still do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's force of habit, like they were always doing it. Yeah.
No, I definitely know what you mean. Omar, how I know you have a particular thing for this, in regards to EXP or how strong you are. You typically are always trying to do things ahead of time in a lot of games, like spending 3 hours fighting the pink boss in Expedition 33, which was hilarious. So I know you have a whole thing about the difficulty as it pertains to what level you are, and you always want the ability to customize it. So I would imagine you would agree that the ability to customize your experience when it comes to grinding or not is something that you would want. Am I correct in that, Omar?
Shit, sorry. I thought I was talking. I was muted. Can you imagine if you can customize your stuff? Like, that would be so awesome. But at the same time, I can see why the what you call it, developers would never want to do that. You could literally run through the game within an hour, 2 hour max. If you can literally, you don't need to grind. You don't need to do anything. Um, yeah. But would I want that? Um, yes and no. I love uh, my victory, yeah, but I also understand not a lot of people have time for that yet. I think there should be a middle ground where you guys touched upon it. Um, make XP a luxury. If you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it, you can literally remove it for more money or something like that.
Yeah,
Like,
you
don't
want
just,
you like the idea of being able to customize it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many times in JRPG where I'm like, I, I need money, but I don't want to level up. But I'm forced to level up, which then I become way too overpowered, and then I run through the boss like nothing. Like, that what happened with 33. I did everything so good that when it was literally the final boss, I didn't see a single move from him. Not even one time. So that was fun. I know for someone like you, that's your dream moment, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I
Like,
do things on purpose to be overpowered.
yeah, I didn't do that overpowered. I was just doing the secret boss. I didn't realize, oh yeah, doing the secret boss gonna make the final boss a cakewalk. Um, but going back to it, I do think they should abolish grinding because it it takes like we got way too many games to play, women way too many genre, and I understand developers spend so many time on a single game to create, but I hate time waster, dude. You mentioned a couple in Resident Evil, like when Mr. X is running behind you, or a super difficult puzzle, which, not gonna lie, if I had to choose between, okay, um, I would rather they abolish hard puzzles in JRPG instead of grinding,
I
if
mean,
that's
yeah, I
what you
mean,
mean.
I would agree with that, but that's because I hate puzzles. So,
Yeah, but I will never forget Final Fantasy IX Candle Puzzle. I hate that shit. But going back to it, I do think abolishing it is someone like you a good thing. But make it optional. Make
yeah.
it something you toggle. Like they already did that with speeding up the battle.
Well,
Now you just
see,
can skip
that's what
it.
I mean. Like, I don't. I just think the thing I hope that they do more often, because I feel like more games, Western games have done this more and more, right? Whether they're RPGs or not, but putting customization under the accessibility and then allowing you to make those changes accordingly. Because my other problem is like when JRPGs do stuff like that or they incorporate things like that, they make it an item and then it takes up space or something,
Oh
and
yeah.
it's like stop taking up space. I shouldn't have to put on an earring or an accessory slot because I don't want to. I want, you know um to stop the XP, or like you said, and get the bonus of increased money or stuff like that. They need to get more comfortable with putting some of this stuff in the menus, or whether they want to put it under accessibility or whatever, um and get more
Accessibility.
comfortable
It's
there.
simple.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, I
literally
agree.
accessibility. Sorry, I was memorized by the brand in time or something like that. That shit look so good.
Omar.
But no, going back to it,
Oh,
I was listening to him. But going back to it, I do believe accessibility is the best place to put it on
Yeah.
because, like, it's easy to find, and I have been screaming from the top of my from the top of my lung for Metrovenias to stop putting damage numbers as an accessory.
Omar, you're
No,
the only one who complains
no, no,
about.
it's literally the same. Whether it's damage numbers, where it's literally the showcase for the
No,
map,
no,
Hollow
no,
Knight is
no.
that.
That's not literally the same. I refuse. I refuse to accept.
And stopping your XP take, it's literally all of it counts as accessibility.
No,
Like,
no, no, no.
why
It's not.
should why should I waste an accessibility slot just because I want to see damage numbers? That makes no sense.
But
Yeah,
what what
I know
what
what you mean.
what part of damage numbers does it hinder your ability to access the game? Because that's what accessibility means.
Oh no, damage numbers let me know how far do I need to hit a boss before it's dead. I know them where it is.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
A
You're just
boss,
saying you don't want like similar to what we were saying
you
about
know,
putting those in accessibility instead of an item.
you know,
You don't
all
want you
this,
don't want games to
all
put an
yeah,
item to depend on
yeah,
seeing the numbers.
this.
Do you mean damage numbers or the health bar of the boss?
Both health bar damage numbers. Like this is what I'm talking
Well,
about.
because
So,
damage numbers is something different. That just
yeah, no,
literally shows you
I
the.
meant it. I understand. I
Okay.
have bar and damage numbers, both.
You
In
want
the sense
both,
of
yeah.
like everything that this is my issue. They have it. They just remove it.
Yeah, but
So that when
I
they can
fundamentally
remove it, they
disagree
can.
with you there that qualifies as a accessibility thing. I can totally understand you don't want to have a health bar because obviously there could be a certain level of okay you don't know for sure how much further you have to go, even though with Metroidvania a lot of the times bosses have phases and you know okay it's now moving faster or whatever, so you know it's close to death, so you kind of have a hint there. But also like some games sort of enjoy minimalistic UIs, but also not like if you show a health bar of a boss, it kind of sort of takes
But
you out of
make
the
it
immersion.
make it something that's talkable though, where you can like it's literally from the accessibility feature. I forgot which game I played, but there was one game where I could literally switch up a lot of stuff. Like where the wind meet right now, I'm playing. It literally gives me the ability to auto heal me with potions, with items if I want to. It it gives me a skill automatically. It uses an item that I can buy, but it does that automatically. Why can a company like this
I well
put?
what no but I think we should also distinguish between things that are which something that would you like to see, and I'm not against the idea that you make it possible to toggle them on and off, but I also think like there's a difference between things that are in accessibility things and things that are so yeah, quality of life improvements like
Quality of life.
something
I
that has come that
I
but
think it's a little bit of both, because accessibility is a little bit what you would call it. The line is blurred when it comes to that. Some stuff they say
no,
is accessibility when in fact
it's
it's
not
literally
it's
basic
not
stuff.
really blurred. It's very clearly that there are things like colorblind mode, things that make
Yeah, no, that actually
button presses
I I
easier because you don't have
I
this
I get it.
dexterity.
I get it, but
Yeah, so
sometimes in
I think
accessibility
Omar is saying
you
he just
find
wants an option regardless of where it is. But
yeah, yeah, yeah,
a lot of places put those options in accessibility, even though things like
yeah.
colorblind modes and stuff are in there. Like in Expedition, the ability to turn off your attacking QTEs is under accessibility, even though they could have put that option anywhere. But like I played the whole game like that because I hated
So,
the attacking QTE.
Yeah, but
so yeah,
to be fair, QTEs are also a thing. Generally, most games put that on their accessibility because it is if you're not, as sort of limited in your ability to input commands, then that can be quite a challenge. That's literally something that would make the game inaccessible to you if you have difficulty with that. So I do think it's important to distinguish them, but like I said, I think you didn't quite get my point. Sort of quality of life things also are things that should be considered in whether you make it optional or not, but should be part of your gameplay design, because a lot of games, I think that, and that's gonna maybe also a issue you have, Nate, is that especially JRPGs have a tendency to forgo some things that are basically the standard already, and just stick to these sort of archaic gameplay designs of decisions that are just annoying and have been proven to be no longer necessary or part of what makes a great RPG or JRPG, because there are plenty of games to show you they can make it work without it, right? You don't need it.
Yeah.
You're still sort of stubbornly doing it, and yeah, it becomes more annoying because you have comparison material where games are doing it, without these annoying things, and so doing it better, and you're refusing to get with the program, basically. So I get that, right? So that's certainly something that these games should consider. But so why I'm sort of going against you, Omar, is that you're also mentioning some things that are less about accessibility or quality of life and more about pet peeves. Like, these are things that you personally like to see, and that's fine. And I'm not against the games implementing that, as long as it's a big time-consuming change I would have to do to implement that. But I also think that we shouldn't necessarily demand things that are not really part of either accessibility or these sort of standards that have become part of the industry, part of this genre. That you're kind of saying, okay, yeah, I always want to see a health bar, cool. But I don't think that every game should have, because it doesn't necessarily diminish the game or make it more annoying.
I understand what your point is, but my point is this: if something is wearable, it should be in the and it's a quality of life improvement. It should be toggleable. It shouldn't be wearable. That's what I meant.
I know what you mean.
And it can literally be to XP. I don't want XP. I want more XP. I want more money. I don't want any money.
Yeah,
Like,
I think they need to get more comfortable putting certain things in the options
but
menu,
they don't want
and
to. I
not
don't.
require a requirement on your character.
But again,
I don't know if it's money.
I do disagree with you guys there, that like things like having no XP or more money are not necessarily part of these accessibility.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. We're not on that anymore. Like, we get, you're saying you don't want it in accessibility. We're saying they need to be an option. Where they are in the options menu.
I get that too, but I also disagree with that, because I think if you want that, if a developer wants to put that as an option, fine. But I don't think we should demand them to do that, because that completely fundamentally changes the game.
But why put it wearable and not make it toggleable?
No, he's saying he doesn't think it should, whether or not you should demand that whether it's in the game or not. I mean, that's fine. I'll be honest, that's why I play certain games on PC, so I can mod it and I can do whatever the fuck I want. So that's a big reason why I do that. And when I had to explain that to Omar the other day about why I play certain games on PC, that's a main reason. Like Frost just brought up in the chat, a lot of WRPGs include weight. I fucking hate weight. I will tell you right now, almost every game that has weight as a factor in it, I remove that shit. Like, I might play the first playthrough.
I'm looking at you.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not ruining your experience in that regard, but I hate weight.
I like the way that Kingdom Come Deliverance did over encumber, because if you were walking around over encumbered, it increased your strength. Like randomly, if I had too much on me and I was just like, damn, I can't go anywhere with it. Like I need all this stuff. I can't get rid of anything. Fuck, I have to walk 10 minutes to the town to get to my chest to hold it, right? I like the fact that by the time I got to the town, I got like 2 strengths from that. I was like, oh shit, I got it implemented it in a way that made sense. Like, okay, obviously if you're carrying more than you're able to, that's strength training. So now you're stronger as a character. I think that was cool.
But that
I actually thought that was really cool.
That risk versus reward. That's not just time consuming. Now you can do it on purpose.
Yeah, I think that was a brilliant design when you told me that.
I love that. But something like Skyrim, something like Witcher 3 were literally herbs before the patch. Herbs counted as weight. And I became so overconfident so quick. I'm like, I'm dropping this game. It's not fun.
Yeah, like prime example, right? Like, I remember it was funny because I think Morgan is the one that pointed out to me when they first released it. But I was telling her that when I played Starfield, the weight of a lot of stuff was like way too high, and it was kind of stupid. So I ended up modding out the weight. Like I just used a quick mod that literally just made everything 0 weight because it just got on my nerves. And then she had sent me an article that they implemented a slider in the options menu officially to turn down the weight of things. Now, the problem with that in their case, and why I would not use that personally, is because the slider is a penalty. So if you turn down the weight, you got like less EXP. And I was like, well, screw you. I'll just use the mod.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like,
your first mistake was playing a Bethesda RPG. That was mistake.
Yeah, I know you hate
mistake
them.
number 2 is once again the mods have to save Bethesda games because you have to.
I mean, to be fair, I modded the brakes off of Baldur's Gate 3 as well, so it ain't just them, because Baldur's Gate 3 got a bunch of annoying mechanics that I love the game, but it got a bunch of annoying like it drove Thrifty crazy when I was on his show, and I told him that I modded out the randomness from Baldur's Gate 3, and he was like, "What? You
talking about the dice?"
Yes, I modded the dice out.
Sir, okay, there's a difference between modding out something that is like annoying and then modding out the literal gameplay of a game.
Yeah, but hold up. But wait, I'm gonna explain though. Hold on, I'm gonna explain though. Motherfuckers, hold on. Motherfuckers will save scum 40 times just to get the decision to roll the thing that they want. Why do that when I can get what I want the first time?
The point of the dice is to be random. That's what dice are.
I know.
About the randomness, and then you mod it out. Like that's literally the gameplay, bro.
I get it what he said, but he mentioned something I've been saying for years. People save scum. People look up where the best item, where the best XP you can gain. Like, people want all of this shit gone. We just want to experience.
No, they don't.
No.
Let me explain it in a good way. People want to get gone in the sense of they if you're in game, you should get end game XP and money. You shouldn't need to farm like that. But the saves come. Like, I've seen it happen. I've done it in many games. Like, I absolutely understand why you remove the randomness. Like, if I
That literal gameplay mechanic.
no, but Morgan, if I could have done that with
Omar,
XCOM,
you are not the metric of the game. Like, well, I would have done it. Omar, that's not the point. That is the literal gameplay mechanic is of the dice. It's supposed to be
so let me
like
but wait though.
just like the board game.
But let me
That
ask
is
you
the
though.
point.
If people save scum and they keep saving and reloading until they get what they want, what does it matter?
Yes, how many times people reloaded? Whether they died, whether their first
What
time
about the
they
people who
got
don't?
one-shotted.
I mean, cool. Like, I mean, they can accept their fate. That's what I'm saying. They can accept their fate, but the reality is a lot of people do save scum like crazy because they don't want it. Like, there's certain decisions in the game that will literally kill a
Sure, a lot
character
of people cheat
that
in a
you
lot of
wanted.
games, but I mean, but we always get on people when they cheat certain ways, and it's like, but like, dude,
I mean,
you're
save
literally,
everybody save
You're
scums.
not
Like I'm
cheating.
not
Hold
doing
up.
that.
you're literally
You're not
just
cheating though.
huh.
You're not cheating. You're not cheating. You're
No.
not
If you're literally
negating.
removing the dice from the
No,
game,
that's not
you're
what I
literally
said. That's not what I said. We're done with that. That is my prerogative
no, we're not done
on
with that.
playing that. Yes, we
No, we're
are.
not done with
I
that.
said I said what
That
it.
is literally what you said.
No, stop.
You
Hold on.
removed the
Fuck what
randomness
I
of the
did,
dice.
nigga. Hold up. I am saying. I am saying if niggas
'cause you
save
always do this when
scum.
you don't want the spotlight on you. I'm
I
talking about
don't
people like
know.
you
I
who are
said
removing the dice.
none of y'all
from the
niggas
game
play on
and removing
PC
the
anyway, so it don't even matter.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather he play what you call it?
He can play however he wants.
on
That's not my
easy-
point.
Yeah, my
That's not my
thing,
point.
my
He can play
point
however he
is
wants. I'm just
what
saying
I'm
that
asking you.
There's difference between quality of life and then just removing a entire gameplay mechanic.
That's why it's called a mod. I'm not arguing that. Fuck with that. That's not my argument anymore. My argument with you is telling you what is the difference in me getting my decision I want the first time, exactly the way I wanted it, or me saving 40 times and then getting the
Yes, the people
dice
who do
roll
that
I
are
need.
stupid too. Why the hell are you just continuously
RNG
replaying it and saving it
RNG
28
should be
times?
abolished. It's that simple. RNG shouldn't
R&D.
be
RNG.
And you're missing the point is that yes, sometimes I want to save scum because oh yeah, I mean this because I'm like at the beginning of the game, there's a way to get like a really strong weapon, but yeah, if you're unlucky, yeah, you might not get it. So yeah, there's a reason why you want to save scum, but other times like it doesn't really matter. Like
Yeah,
you
I'm not doing it all the time.
But it can also give you an interesting bad outcome that's just funny.
See, I don't disagree with that. And on places where it's insignificant, I don't care, and I'll leave it alone. But if the decision, there's several decisions in something like Baldur's Gate, right? That'll literally kill off a character from like the dumbest decision. Like, and it's like, oh, my charisma wasn't high enough, so I killed that bitch.
Sure, if it kills a character that you really like, fine. But like people doing it for stupid shit, like, oh man, I wanted to go left instead of right. Fuck, let me just say resave it.
Yeah,
like,
no,
bro,
yeah,
come on,
that's
bro.
yeah.
Like, it's unnecessary to try to do it 20 times just because of.
Oh no, I mean I don't disagree with you
like,
there.
The point of the game is to kind of get you to like the point of the dice is that it's fate deciding what's happening, right? That's kind of the gameplay mechanic, right? And for you to be like, nah, I'd rather just make my decision. Just like, well, damn, bro.
I mean,
like,
I do that largely because I mean I'm also not playing Baldur's Gate. Most niggas haven't finished Baldur's Gate in the first place. I don't got time to play Baldur's Gate 67 times to see every ending. I agree with you that with the other stuff, I will leave that stuff alone. But I was more so talking about major decisions that will affect the gameplay route or something that I need to do. Like, I can't get this character if this doesn't happen. Like, I'm saying that's the stuff I'm personally against leaving that up to chance.
That stuff happened without you knowing.
Yeah, like I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thing.
Omar, were you saying to remove the dice from the game? Is that what you were talking about, Omar? Dice need to be removed from gaming?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't saying that.
He did say something.
I was talking about RNG. How RNG is the thing. Like, if I could remove that from the game, it would be XCOM. I'm literally in front of the mob face, and I shoot it, and I miss. And only I did get that happen to me. Most of the time, what you call it, enemies are fucking absolutely killing me.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you there because XCOM is literally imbalanced. Like, people will be missing 96% chance shots constantly, and that's really stupid. Like, I don't disagree. And I love XCOM too, and I think it's stupid.
And that's literally the core of the game, but it's stupid. That's why I said I agree with this whole dice thing because, like, sometimes, at some point, why is it okay to like make it a toggle? I will always go back.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute.
Again, you're trying to make this a toggle, and this is a gameplay mechanic that's a part of it because it's Dungeons and Dragons and there's dice. It's based on the board game. So trying to remove the initial the core gameplay mechanic is stupid.
Let me ask you this: how is it any different from literally being unable to die in a game?
Wait, what?
Being unable to die in a game, giving you 999 XP, 999 MP, and you do 999 damage per hit.
How is dice
I don't know.
I don't really understand the comparison you're making right now. What are you talking about?
I think the comparison is lost.
My comparison is the game is created to you play it and suffer in it. I think that's how it is. So
I don't know. I think the point is just lost. But anyway, just finish your point so we can keep it moving because I gotta address something in the chat.
Yeah.
Are you done?
Yeah, but
Are you going? Go ahead.
Make XP a toggle where if you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it, you don't need it. Something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So let me get something straight. So Frost brought up something in the chat. So me altering or changing my game in a single player title is not the same thing as cheating in an online match. So I don't know if that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Omar or freaking Morgan. Anyway, cheating, aim hacks and stuff, and call it. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna mute. Anyway, so I can continue my fucking point. Cheating in online is not the same as cheating in a single player game. I'm not affecting nobody else's game or me changing or altering my game. People, I don't care if you don't want to do it. That's your prerogative. That's people's preferences. But, you know, me altering that has not the same bearing. I do not aim hack or use hacks and stuff in online. That is a completely different thing. Number one, that's a complete violation of anti-cheat systems and stuff like that. That's a whole different thing. Personally, I don't have to get mad at people in COD because fuck that game, and I don't play that shit no more. They can't get rid of the hackers and the cheaters in that game to save their life in the first place. So, I mean, good luck to anybody who wants to still play that game because that shit is trash anyway. That's why COD is down over 60% in sales because they haven't been able to address that situation since like 360. So that's a whole nother thing. Again, like I said, they're not mixed. I don't want to mix them together because I've never done that, and that's a completely different thing. People modifying or changing their titles in single player titles is a completely different thing. People play games and limited on console half the time and play however they want. There's also, obviously the stuff with Bethesda and how their games are modded and things of that nature. Again, none of that stuff affects anybody else. You don't ever have to mod your game ever. But, like I said, you can call it whatever you want. I mean, I'm not arguing that. But, I mean, I'm saying I'm going to do that in a single player title whenever I personally feel like it because it doesn't affect anybody else. But, yeah, I do not consider that the same, not even remotely. Because I'm not violating anything or anyone else's personal experience personally. So if you were saying that cheating in single player games or altering a single player game is the same as multiplayer, then we 100% disagree there.
It's all right.
I had you muted. I couldn't hear you because I needed to speak. So.
No, it's okay. You can get your feelings. It's all right.
I mean, I disagree. Like I've always said that.
He was just joking with you.
Huh?
He was just joking.
Oh, I mean, I don't know. I was just going, man. Like, I don't know. I was just saying. Okay. I was just saying.
It's okay. It's okay. Ain't nobody mad. It's cool. You can do what you want.
Oh, yeah. Nah. Yeah, no. I mean, I know. That's exactly. See, I did the same thing, Frost. I had the Game Shark. I had all that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't not consider it that. Yeah. But
you need a hug, Frost. Give him one. He's hurt right now.
Give him a hug. Man, Frost know I love him, man. He cool, man. I love you too, bro. We all good, man. But no, yeah. people who cheat online though, fuck those people, bro. Like I hate that shit.
Yeah,
But
online cheating is the worst.
yeah, that shit is insane, bro. It just ruins the
But
game for other
offline
people.
cheating is, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm
People
like,
are allowed to do what they want.
I wish some people would have cheated in some of the games, because it's like I hate when I see that like people, like I know I've seen quite a few people quit like Expedition even though they liked it, because honestly the game was just too hard for them. I hate seeing that. Yeah, like they couldn't get the timing down with the parry or whatever, and then they just got frustrated and they quit. Yeah, even on easy. I mentioned that on somebody's post, and I was like, have you tried, adjusting it, changing it on easy? To be fair, when they did play, the time adjustment on the parrying that was supposed to be there was broken. So they did fix that later. So hopefully they get to play it later, but yeah, I wish some people, kind of had those options and stuff, cuz I personally that bothers me when, a game is like that. Now, obviously every game ain't for everybody, right? I'm not saying, games need to incorporate that. I'm saying I wish people would find ways to manage it so that they could play some of the games they really like, because it sucks if you really like a game, but it's just like, dang, I just can't get past this and it's stopping me from beating this game. Like, that sucks. I hate to see that. But yeah, speaking of gameplay design choices, and some of the things that we were kind of alluding to, or we were kind of getting into it, that was kind of the next topic. So this was something that Thrifty brought up on his channel, and he mentioned this is something I've had a big deal with, and I've mentioned this to Morgan multiple times. But he says, when you play a game, do you like games that give you all the tools after the first couple of chapters, or do you like that you may have to wait until the game is 50% done or more to get the special tool or level up or ultimate attack? He said in particular that he thought about this, or this came from him playing like a Dragon Pirate Hawaii. But again, this is something that I've had a big issue with, where sometimes I feel like the ultimate weapons, or like the Sword of Light or whatever in a JRPG, like I get it like way too late, and I'm like, I get to fight like 2 bosses at the end of the game, with this ultimate weapon or this cool weapon, and it's like, that's like the only cool thing, like the one thing I was shooting for in the game, and it's like I feel like they gave it to me too late. And then there's other aspects, right? Like because you mentioned like tools, right? So some people, this was a big issue for Horizon Forbidden West, where we talked about the balance of people understanding the cadence and needing to push the main story versus side quests, right? Because remember the metal flowers that were in the game? Well, you had to get to a certain point in the main story in order to get the tool to open the metal flowers. But a lot of people, got caught up in side content and other stuff, and then were kind of irritated that they kept coming across this item in the game that they couldn't do anything with, but it was later. Same thing right now. I still can't open the stupid blue chest in Octopath because I have to level my church up. And Morgan was pointing out, oh yeah, you can open them, you just gotta level the church. But that means I gotta go find all these specific items, fighting so certain bosses and stuff in order to get them to drop the item I need to upgrade the church, so I can grab these chests. Some of these chests are really hidden and like deep in certain caves and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, by the time I come across them later, it's like, am I really going to go back to open all of these, or am I just going to look up what chests have something I need, go back and get those chests, and then ignore the rest? So like the question is ultimately like, are there times when you've played something where you're like, I got that item or that tool or whatever it was way too late? Do you prefer, is there something you prefer, or where you've played a game where you felt like the balance was perfect, they give you the items exactly when you need it? Another good example of this and bad design mechanics, progression design that annoyed me, when we were all playing Star Wars Outlaws, there is a weapon, the stun baton, that you need when you go to Tatooine, but you can go to the you have to get it from the other planet that you're supposed to go to, but you can go to either planet. So you can go to Tatooine first, then you end up on a mission where you're like, oh, in order to take these guys out appropriately, stealth wise, you need an item that was from the other planet. So giving you the freedom to go to either planet was kind of stupid, because now you're, basically doing a mission missing an item that progression wise should have came first. So I don't, again, like I said, I could think of so many examples where this may or may not have bothered me. Some games that do it really well, some games that don't. But yeah, have you run into this issue where you feel like you've gotten an item way too late in the game, and you're like, damn, I only get to fight like the final boss. I finally got the sword of penultimate truth, or whatever, I don't know. And you're like, damn, I get to fight one boss with this weapon. This was the whole point of the game. Or a tool, like we were talking about, like the metal flowers. You felt like you got it too late. Is there anything that you've played?
I kind of interpreted your topic a bit differently, as in games where you basically get all the tools at the start of the game, and like Breath of the Wild, where you basically get all the key items at the start of the game, and you basically it's sort of more like a sandbox in that regard. And I hated that change, because I loved the original Zelda games where you just unlocked every item before or within the dungeon, and that would unlock the road to another dungeon. Like, I love that progression, but that's kind of the thing is, like, this works for a linear game. If you have a game like you mentioned, Star Wars Outlaws, I had sort of the same problem where I was trying to do a lot of side content on the planet that I was, and made things far more difficult for myself, because indeed I didn't have the tool required to knock down particular heavy enemies that made it far more challenging, because I had to find ways to sneak around them. I couldn't confront them. So yeah, I agree with you that was a poor design choice. Like, you should have given that item way earlier, or made it at least not sort of block me or whatever from trying to enter those areas without without it. But again, the thing is as well, like you mentioned, like there's story progression. Story missions where that item essentially would have been almost necessary, and you're making things way more difficult for yourself because you didn't first get that item, but the game never really tells you, okay, you need to go there first. So I agree,
exactly.
You should be much more cautious with that when it's non-linear game. I do have an example with the game that I completed over the holidays, the Possessors. It's not necessarily the well, there is one weapon that that last weapon that I only unlocked like pretty much before the final boss, because I missed it, because it was a reward for beating a boss, but instead of getting it, it was sort of dropped. But it was dropped in sort of like a decline, where you fought the boss, like it's basically a pit. I'm like, okay, but I didn't, like, I beat the boss, but I didn't check there. I just continued because I didn't get anything. Like, okay, that's annoying, because you should just get that stuff. It should be very clear. Like, why would you not just give it to me? Why should I miss it?
I agree.
Another thing that was annoying was that I was constantly collecting all these upgrades, like these items that I could combine. At least that's what the menu told me, to get like health upgrades, to get potions that you can use to restore your health. And I was checking all the merchants, like, okay, is there something I need to buy? Are you able to do this for me? None of them were able to do this. And turns out there was only one merchant in the entire game that was able to do that, and you unlocked them like, I don't know, like 60-70% in the game. Like, so so I've been collecting all that stuff, and you're only giving that to me like pretty much near the end of the game, where I could have used this way early, because I've been beating these optional bosses that are way more challenging than the actual bosses, and I'm basically doing that with my starting health bar and with one health potion or whatever I had at the beginning. That was really annoying, and it's not sort of progression. It's not like a critical item, but it's sort of like you're making most of the game way more challenging than it needs to be, because you're and it's sort of also fundamentally not understanding what a Metroidvania game is. You could argue, okay, yeah, if you went ahead straight away and didn't get sidetracked, yeah, but that's not the point. Like if there was something hidden and you can get there with your abilities that you have now, you can check it out. And even then, it's not. Don't even agree with that assessment, because it was like I did like a lot of story progression at that point. Like there was a lot of the story I've already done. A lot of mandatory bosses I beat, and like, okay, but it's way too late. Like normally you get these health upgrades way earlier in any game, yeah, that was annoying to me, but that's like really a design choice where I don't agree with, and I don't think anybody would. That's normally not how how you design his mechanic in the game. And I think that sort of touches upon what you talk about. Yeah, sure. I agree that a game needs to, be properly balanced in the way that you're getting that you're directed in the right direction straight away. If you have choices and you're indeed not, because I could totally imagine that with the way you design a game like that you could literally get stuck. Because I think I can't recall, but directly, but I think I've played games where I got literally stuck because I didn't get a critical item I was supposed to get, and I cannot complete this mission without. But there's no way to back out of this mission, so I'm totally screwed. You know, and that's what you're gonna get, with these kind of design choices, that you might run into a bug that kind of screws somebody over. They cannot get back out of the mission, and they cannot progress because you didn't give them the item they need to. So yeah,
Yep.
I agree with you. That's really annoying. They should not do that. But the other hand, like I also uh, the opposite end, like I don't think you need to get everything right away, because it also kind of ruins the experience to me if that's sort of part of the core gameplay, as with example Zelda of the previous games, because that sort of what I was looking forward to. And you give me everything straight away. Yeah, I can experiment with them. That's kind of the point of the game. But on the other hand, like I'm also not really feeling it in a way like you're sort of giving too much freedom in that sense, and it has sort of the detriment that yeah, you don't really have these like only a few dungeons really, and most of them are the other dungeons are basically just cut apart in these small challenge areas that you can do, and they really didn't feel like the same way like you did like these big thematic dungeons, like a fire dungeon, a water dungeon, and now you just have these sort of very sterile looking shrine like areas that were really boring, just because they wanted to give you everything straight away and you can just experiment with that. And yeah, I mean it kind of, I know that's a lot of people loved it, but they kind of missed me with that. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there can be definitely detriments to, like you said, giving you the kind of like the everything all at once in the beginning thing, like you said, like the Zelda games. Those have definitely torn that fan base, kind of in half. The people who like really love it and go crazy, and they're like, look, I built this mech, 20 minutes into the game, and now I'm about to go crazy, and then as opposed to like the original design of like Zelda, and kind of getting those key items as you progress through the dungeons and whatnot. Yeah, I agree. I think there's definitely like merit for both, depending on how, like you were saying, the game was designed. But yeah, I know you we talked about that that one particular one from Star Wars Outlaws that drove me crazy. 'Cause when you explained it to me later and you were like, oh yeah, there's a stun baton that can just knock them out, and I was like, what? Like, because I had went to Tatooine first, and I was like, why would you let me do that? Like, that is terrible design progression. So yeah, no, I agree. Morgan, how has this kind of panned out for you? Do you find you like games that kind of give it to you everything up front? A nice solid balance, or have you experienced games where you're like, man, I got that item way too late, or that skill way too late? They should have given me that before. They give you poison resistance right after you fight the boss that poisons you 6 times. That's always a big example that a lot of people get. How have you felt that this kind of design choices have worked out for you in most of your gaming? Morgan?
I agree with you. I have nothing to add.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, we said it well, so I agree. So, have you not had any instances where it's bothered you, though? That you can think of, at least?
Yeah. We've said it all, so, he basically said what I wanted to say, so.
That is fair. Omar, what about you, sir?
Stole your thunder.
It happens.
Okay, so look, it's different in the sense of in certain areas I agree, but in another area I disagree. Like one point is 33, edition 33. There are these stones that you can only break if you unlock a certain skill.
Yeah, they give
I'm
it to you later.
I'm okay with that, but my point is mark them on the map for me, please. When I visit an area and I see them, mark them on the map for me so I don't forget about them later. Like, I'm all about cleanup.
Yeah,
But
I agree with you. That's my issue now with the blue chest. The blue chest thing I was complaining about with Octopath. Like, they're all over the world in some of the most secluded locations, and it's like, I'm not specifically gonna go back and check every single area I went through for blue chests. If I come across them, once I have the ability to open them, fine. But yeah, I think they give you the ability way too late. So yeah, I agree
like
with you.
especially if you need to unlock every single chest for the platinum, like what are we doing here? Like how is that fun, dude? Like it's not fun, it's not challenging, it's not anything. It's just not only time consuming, it's just mindfuckery. They're fucking with you for no reason. I hated it so much. But on the other hand, I love Metrovanias, and Metrovanias is literally the definition of waiting till you get a new skill to progress. I love that. I don't want when I play a Metrovania for my skill to be, for me to have every single thing. Like then the game become boring
I
for
was gonna
me.
say it is kind of funny though that you like Metroidvanias, because Metroidvanias have a big proponent of doing this, where they make you pass a
Yeah,
bunch of
but
stuff and then they give you the item later and then
but
you have to backtrack and
I have no.
then
But as I said, I have no issue with backtracking. I have issue when they don't mark it on your map. Most
hold
of
up,
the
wait.
time, Metrovania mark
You've
it on your
never had
map.
an issue with backtracking? Because I thought that was one of your gripes with. I'm just bringing. I thought that was one of your gripes with.
I have an issue with backtracking if it's not on the map. That's my issue. Then I need to pull up YouTube to see where it is. But if with my map it's clear and I can clearly see where I need to be, I have no issue with it. I can literally do that while listening to podcasts or listening to music. That's not my problem. Cleanup is not an issue. Make cleanup visible for me. especially when they give you a certain amount of um, stickers that you can place on your map.
Oh, you
Like
mean if you have to make
there is
custom markers? Yeah, I know what you mean.
16 million chat and you're giving me 100 stickers. Congratulations. Like, why are you doing that game? So this is why I'm saying mark it on your map and I'm happy. Mark it on my map and I'm a happy camper. I am okay with cleanup. As for I get it, you beat a boss and they give you the poison resistance. I'm like, tough. If it's something that you could have gone out of your way to get, I would have done so. But that's what we do, eh? We make sure to do every single side quest before doing the main boss. Which again, point taken is you get so much XP from it. But yeah, going back to it, I do think it can be seen in two ways. One way is if the game is not doing its best when it comes to a opinion, you should have given that ability early on, so you don't backtrack if you can't find it. But if the game is helpful, then it's okay to getting the skill later. And if the skill is needed to progress the game, in the sense of it's a new ability or something like that, I'm okay with getting it later because it's part of the reward you get after fighting an boss or something like that.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why I didn't get the platinum in um, some game I forgot what it's called, because I literally missed one single plant that I needed to plant a flower in. And I had no idea it's mandatory. And the best thing about that, there is a hidden secret boss that I missed out fighting on because I didn't plant that just one plant. But if that plant was visible on the map, I would have literally teleported where I need to be and planted and be done with it. This is why I say, devs, I question how, like dev, I question who create trophies for us, who makes them. Because a lot of the time they make trophies and they want you to spend thousand and million an hour just to get one single trophy. I'm like, fuck
Oh,
you,
I
dev.
mean, yeah, the tracking ability for the items in
Again, but again,
Hogwarts Legacy drove me crazy, so that's why only
YouTube
Morgan and them had it.
YouTube exists, so it's better than beforehand. But there are certain games that are so unique that you can either find no YouTube for it, or it's difficult to find the exact area where you need to be. So what you wind up doing, watching a 3 hour video just to find where you need to be. So mapping is important in games. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, no doubt. The Grand Blue Fantasy wants you to beat the dragon without getting hit once. Yeah, stuff like that always drives me crazy. Morgan played a game like that, and she's one of the few people I know that has the platinum for that game, which is the Trek to Yomi or whatever.
Which game?
Trek to Yomi,
Oh,
where
I
you
played
had
plenty games.
to get the platinum, you had to like. I don't remember anybody else getting that platinum, but I mean, if you have
Me
it,
too.
that would be surprising. But I only remember her getting it at the time because you had to make it through, I think, every single level without getting hit or something crazy like that. And that was just like listening to her go through that was crazy. But yeah, she was hype
She
after
did.
she
She did
completed
it.
that.
She did it with Planet of Lama. There is a trophy for that where you need to do that as well. So yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no,
that's
I don't have the plat. I am at 67. So yeah.
yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, she was the only person I know that had gotten it. Like, it was a crazy requirement. Like, because I remember doing just like the first level or something, trying out Trek to Yomi, and then she told me she had got the platinum for that. That was crazy. So yeah, that's a good example of a crazy requirement. But yeah, we'll cover some of this other stuff later. Like I said, it's not that significant because we did get started later. So we're gonna go ahead and sew it up here. Nice little 2-hour podcast. Call it good. Get everybody out and back to the game. But yeah, chat was lit today. I appreciate everybody who came through. It was a lot of fun. Wolfgang came through. Appreciate the homie Frost supporting the team from the very beginning. I see even Game Logic made it through. Like I said, Seafresh, Salazar, Will came through as well. Hero, Seafresh, Quiet Doom. So, I've seen everybody come through. I appreciate, again, every single one of you guys. As always, you guys always make the discussion dope and a lot of fun. What was your question?
Do you know why Wolfgang came through? Because of the Resident Evil 9 title.
I mean, probably. I know he really loves Resident Evil. I know he was supposed to do the stream. So, but yeah. With that, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Weeb, let the people know where they can find you, sir.
Great show as always, guys. And also shout out to the chat. Yes, you can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Zone, saying for Blue Sky, though I'm not really active anymore on that. Looking forward to finishing Kingdom of the Dump for the next podcast, which probably is manageable. And then I'll have to figure out what to play next before the onslaught of February. And I'll leave you with Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
You can also find me on Twitter at ChillBandit and on PSN at ChillBandit336. Hopefully finishing Octopath for the next week. Thank you everybody for coming through. 2026 is just getting started, so we got some great games to look forward to. And we'll see you guys next week. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation. And Omar, where can the people find you, sir?
You can find me at Caravan Ketchup on Twitter and Vitamin G podcast every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit that like button, check the stream out, and play your games. We're early in the year. Play your backlog until the next big game. See you next week.
Absolutely. And I am your host, Nate, or known as The Real Nate on Twitter and Blue Sky. As everybody said, man, we're just getting started. It's going to be on and cracking. I see a lot of people out here playing, like I said, a lot of really great titles. So a lot to look forward to. Crimson Desert is finally around the corner, as well as several other titles. So it's exciting, start to the year. Some of these people could definitely stand to get their weight up on some of these titles, these completions. So ain't no time like the present, at the start of a year, to really start lining up the games you really want to play and complete. And like Omar said, that backlog, if all else fails, most of us got plenty of games in the backlog to get through, and enjoy all of what 2026 and your prior years has to offer. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter